Hi everybody, so today I'm going to be showing you how to do a simple monochromatic landscape painting. Alright, and I am hoping that this video won't be too long, but I won't be doing time-lapse, so I hope that you will truly learn how to create a monochromatic landscape painting. And when you do so, please share your pictures with me. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is to get some white, get some black, and a color, because that's what a monochromatic painting is. A monochromatic painting is a painting that is done using one color plus its tints and shades. So we're going to take out some white, and we're going to separate it into a different section of our palette. And you can get anything to mix your paints in. Remember, when you're going to use another color, you wash out your brush first and then you absorb some of the water from the brush. Now I'm going to start with my background, so from my background, middle ground to foreground. That's how we paint when we paint. So I'm going to take up a very small amount of blue on my brush, and I'm going to mix it with the white that I took out. I need some extra water in this. My white paint is kind of drying up, so it's thick. And I'm going to mix that up. Now what I'm going to do before I start painting on my canvas or my paper, I'm going to put on a sample somewhere so that the next time I mix another tint, then I know that my color has changed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my painting. Remember, now it's a simple landscape painting, and so we're doing the sky first. I'm just trying to get all the color onto the canvas. Now, as I go down to the bottom, what I'm going to do is wash out my brush. And if you're using a paper, you do the same thing. Absorb some of the water. Then I'm going to take out a good portion of white, and I'm going to start from, so this is where my sky ends. I'm going to start from a little below that, and I'm going to paint and bring the white up into the blue, into the tint of blue that I just had. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow the bottom of our sky to appear lighter than the top, and this helps to create what we describe as aerial perspective. Alright, so even though it's hard to see, it is there. So the top is actually lighter than the bottom. What we're going to do now, we're going to take a very small portion of blue and we're going to add it to the first value that we had. Alright, and we're going to mix that up. I'm going to put down a sample here so I know that my color has changed. It has changed, but I think I need it to change a little more, so I'm going to take a small amount of blue and I'm going to put it with it, and I'm going to put a sample beside that. Yeah, that's the color I want, that's the value I want, sorry. So I'm going to start, and I'm just going to be putting in what I think my bush should look like. So this is a very, very far away bush. Right, so it looks very far. What we're going to do now, quickly wash out our brush, and to that value we're going to add another small portion of blue to the same value that we just used. Test it. Yes, it has changed. We're going to continue putting it down here. So you're seeing a change of value. Simple change of value. And I'm using one brush. I'm going to use one brush because sometimes, especially for my students, I realize that they only have one brush. But if you have different size brushes, then you can use some to make trees, some to make leaves and stuff like that. So I need some more value. So I'm going to take out some more white, put it there. This time I'm going to add more blue to the value that is there because I want this one to be deeper. Want this one to be much deeper. Make sure that your paint is properly mixed out of your brush so that when you're actually painting on the canvas you don't see patches of dark blue and patches of light blue. So I'm going to put down my value there. Yes, it has changed. I'm okay with it. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to put some bush right there. I'm going to wet the tip of my brush and I'm going to put my brush on the side and see if I can get a small tree right there. Turn your brush on its head and gently tap. This is better done if the previous colors are dry so that they don't mix back into what you're trying to do. So I'm going to allow that to dry. I already have a sample here, so next time I want to put the top of the tree on, I know what value I am going to be needing. I'm going to put one right down here as well. And I'm just going to wait for that to dry so that I can put on the top of my trees. Yeah, going to wait for it to dry. Alright, so we're going to do one last value for the blue, one last tint, keep on saying value. So I'm going to take up a whole lot of the blue and I'm going to mix it into the previous color that I had, the previous tint that I had. I need more, I need more. And you're going to mix. Make sure that it is properly mixed out. And you're going to come and you're going to add your value. And right here you can go ahead and add another tree. Can add another one right here. Oh, I did not put down this value. See, the young old head is going. All right, so all I'm going to do is to just take up and put down. So there I have a sample. So the next time I want to get back the same value, I just test it against what I had. Alright, so my colors are mixing out, which I don't want. So I'm going to allow that to dry a little while I go and add my pure blue. I hope you're understanding so far. So I'm not going to mix anything now. I'm just going to take up the pure blue And I'm going to start somewhere just below where I just ended. And I'm going to put just the pure blue. Now I want to go up into that, but I have to allow it to dry some more, so I'm going to just allow it to dry while I make my shade. So we're just going to add about 2 shades. Yeah, just 2 shades. So now we're going to take out some blue. We're going to put it in a separate section of our palette. Remember now that your palette is anywhere you're mixing your paint, is the surface that you're mixing your paint on. We call it a palette. So it's usually a little container that has holes, so this is one. This you can see is not like this. This is actually an egg tray from that came with my fridge. Yes, and I'm using it. So I have some black here. Now when we're painting, we need to take into consideration the strength of colors, and so we say that black is stronger than blue. So you don't need a lot of black. You need a very small portion of the black. I wish that thing would dry fast. Small portion of the black, and we're going to mix that out as best as we can. Test it against our previous color. If you're not satisfied, like I am, that the value has changed, you're going to do it again. I'm going to add some more black because I need the value to change. That's the most important thing. I need the value to change. So I'm mixing up my blue, and I'm going to test it against the previous one. I still need it to change just a little more. I needed to change just a little more because we're only using 2 shades, so we need the first one to kind of change more. Blue. And you mix that out quite well. And then you test it against the previous one that you had tried. Yes, I'm going to use that one. It's not very changed though. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Ignore the noise. I'm going to plug in the blow dryer to see if I can get this to dry a little faster than it is doing now, so that this video won't have to be too long, and so that I won't have to use the speed. I won't have to use a time lapse. Alright, so you go over here and plug yourself in here. Ignore the noise. Ignoring the noise. So here we go. I tried that value, but as you can see right here, it's not dark enough, so I'm going to just add some more black to that. And I really do hope that you're learning something from this video. I really hope that it will help you to do a beautiful monochromatic landscape painting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do. Alright, so here we go. And I already have my tester value on the paper. So I'm going to quickly dry this. And I do want my trees in the background, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back and I'm going to mix some more of the value, the previous value that I had, the previous tint that I had for the trees. Come mix it, darling man, telling me banana, delight come on. So this is one. Oh, you're not seeing it. This is one. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. This looks more like 5. All right. Need a little more white. My water needs to be changed. A little more white. Doing a little branch there, and there we go. Almost like a symmetrical balance, don't? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put a little more blue in it now to get back this value. A little more blue, 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 blue. A little more blue, blue, blue. We're almost finished. Almost finished. Don't stop watching us yet. You can always pause the video when and where necessary. Almost, just a little more. See, it's all about mixing and testing. So we're doing a little, kind of doing a little science experiment. Yeah, so you mix, you try, you mix, you try. And there, I think I got it. So it's this one. And as I said before, I'm using one brush because some persons might only have one brush to their disposal. When you can get more brushes, I advise you do so. All right. Trying to use the brush on its side. Let's dry this a bit. And again, as I said before, I didn't want to use the speed, the time-lapse video, because I wanted you to actually learn how to do this without getting frustrated, as I do sometimes when I'm trying to watch one of those time-lapse videos and they're so fast. All right, so there we go. again for tolerating the noise. I'm going to make this a little higher and a little more textured. It's the same color, it's just that when it's dry it looks a bit different. That's okay. Alright. And I already have this, and I can just tap it back. Try this out further. Alright, so you can just relax a little and allow yours to dry instead of using the blow dryer. I'm going to put one more tree right here. One brush, same brush. But right now my hands are very light on it. And that's how I got that fine looking line. Right, can try to put one branch down here. Alright, now we're going to do our last value and then we're finished. Value, and then you have done your first monochromatic landscape painting. And then you can cheers and clap yourselves and send me a picture. Alright, I think I need a little bit more black in that, and then we're good to go. Right. So the closer, if you notice, the closer the thing gets to you, the darker it will appear. If it was in color, then you'd see more blues, more greens, and things like that. Alright, so add in our final shade of blue. And I'm actually not using acrylic paints. My acrylic paints, well, finished while I was demonstrating to the students in class, and I haven't gotten a chance to go back to get some. Alright. Alright, so I'm still seeing the canvas through, so I'm going to try this a little again. Ignore the noise. Alright, so I dried it a little so that I can overlay more of the same value on it, and I'm going to put in my last tree. Notice that this tree gets bigger. Come on now, don't get too big now. Don't get too big now. Alright, and there you have it. I am proud to say that you have your first monochromatic painting done in 26 minutes. Do enjoy and remember to share your video.